Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's session, I'm going to talk about the first poetry in the second unit of DGVC Foundation English 3. The poem is The City and I. This poem was written by an Indian poetess, Arundhati Subramaniam. Before getting into the session, do subscribe my channel if you are new to the channel, and you will get the further updates about the upcoming lectures. Arundhati Subramaniam is a poet, writer, editor, and journalist. Based in Mumbai. She had published two poetry collections, which are on cleaning bookshelves and Where I Live. So these are the two poetry collections which she had published, and she also completed a non-fiction work, which is the Book of Buddha. Okay, the Book of Buddha. This one was, completed by this writer, the poetess Arundhati Subramaniam. She was also co-editor to the work called Confronting Love. That one was published in the year 2005, and it's an anthology of contemporary Indian love poetry in English. And this work has been translated into many languages like Tamil, Hindi, Italian, Spanish. She was also given a visiting arts fellowship, with which she went to UK for a series of poetry readings. It was 2006. Okay, this poem, The City and I. Okay, see, the title itself indicates that this poetry is going to talk about a particular city. Many of us are willing to visit city in order to explore many things and to avail a lot of facilities. Of course, we could avail a lot of facilities only in city, but one thing we couldn't expect in city, which you could see in rural areas, like in city, people always look for oneself, like they don't bother about others. Certainly, we could get all the facilities in city, but at the same time, we cannot see the unity in city like we could see this in rural area. So in city, people are in a crowd. They are staying at one place, but everyone is individual. Everyone is standing on its own, on his or her own, right? But people in city, they get united only if they come across any disaster. So after the disaster, people, they started to be one. Okay, so here, this poem is, talking about a city called Mumbai. Mumbai is, very popular city, very, very congestive city in India. The most congestive city in India and worldwide, the Mumbai is said to be the fifth congestive city, right? Okay, most crowded city. So in this city, she is talking about the mentality of the people in city Mumbai, which have got changed after the disaster. After the disaster, which is the terrorist attack was happened in 2008 between November 26 to 29. So these 4 days, terrorist attack was made in Mumbai cities, in which about 175 people were killed and more than 300 people were injured. Okay, so every countries in the world, they started looking towards India, and the terrorist associations have received a huge condemnation from everywhere across the global. So here, after the attack, after the disaster, everyone in the city, they started stay at one side. They started forming unity among them, right? So this poem opens like the first stanza of the poetry opens. This time we didn't circle each other, hackless raised, four bristlings. So the first line itself, this time, this phrase, this time, okay, the phrase, right, which shows that some changes was happen this time. So this poet who visits the city after the disaster, after the attack, she visits the city and she could see a lot of changes happen in the city among the people. So she could see that this time we didn't circle each other and hackles raised for bristling. Prior to the disaster, prior to the terrorist attack, people are not bothered about others. Everyone started having their own fence, their own psychological fence, whatever the fence which they draw, right? They don't let others to get inside. So this is how people were living before the attack. But after the attack, people realized the worthiness of the time, the value of the life, and they started live with the magnanimous mind. So after the attack, everyone started show courtesy towards others. People give space for others. People give time for others. So that is what it shows. Like this time, so means after the attack, something was changed among the people. The next few lines shows that this time there was space between us and we weren't competing. So this time again she uses this time there was space between us. So now people started giving space for others. People started spending time for others. We were not competing. So now nobody is thinking that he is coming to collapse my growth. Everyone started having the feeling of magnanimous, the sense of magnanimous. They don't feel like they are competing, but it was there before the attack. But after the attack, the mind of the people got changed in the city. Space enough and more for the nose-digging librarian and a stainless steel tiffin box. See, in city life, people won't find time to have food. They simply take food at any time. They don't bother about the health conditions. But after the attack, she mentions a person who is a librarian. She never bothered about her food, right? So now, after the attack, she realized that it is important to keep healthy because life is uncertain. She realized life is uncertain. Anything may happen at any time. So now she mentions the librarian who would simply ignore the food before the attack, but after the attack, the mind of the librarian got changed, who wanted to spend every moment of the life. And again, there is another person whom she mentions in the poem for the little theatre peon to read me as Marathi poems on rainy afternoons. Okay, there was a peon who spends time to read poetry, to read rhymes. So there he realized to enjoy every moment, to make use of every seconds which he is alive. Then after that, okay, there is and for the woman on the 7.10 beyond the slog with green combs in her hair to say again, he's coming to get me, he's coming to get me. So after the attack, there was a woman who was very happy that someone is coming to take her to somewhere. Before the attack, she never bothered about these things. She never realized the worthiness of the life, the time, the relationship. But now she realized, because see how many people were killed. That gave a lesson to them that life is uncertain. So let me live for every second, every moment, right? Again, now it is not only for others, even for the poetess. The changes also happened even to the poetess. So this time the city surged towards me, she says. The city surged towards me. Mangy bruised eyes, non-vaccinated, suddenly mine. Of course, I mourned a huge, but still it's mine. The city is mine. Now even I too got changed. Even my mind also got changed. Right? So through this poetry, the poetess wanted to convey that the mind of the people got changed after the disaster, the attack. See, only when people who undergo with any difficulties, they start to live every moment and every second, every moment of their life. Because the difficult moments, the tough times will teach the people that life is uncertain, make use of every seconds. That will teach everyone. This is what the message which the poetess Arundhati Subramaniam wanted to convey through this poetry. We could take it as a lesson because these generations have not bothered about the present moment. They're simply thinking about the past and worrying about the future. The younger generation always thinking about the past and worrying about the future. So this poetry, this poem can be a lesson for these people that life is uncertain, anything may happen at any time, so let us live at every moment. So with this, the poetry gets over. Thanks for listening. Do subscribe the channel.